Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In today's video I'm going to be talking about cleaning of the succulent. Now of course succulents are going to have a lot of dry leaves as and when they start to grow. Now this is an Echeveria red tip. So you can see it is having a lot of dry leaves. There is something very important that I wanted to share it with you guys, especially for beginners, because I always advise you not to water the same day when you receive your new plants. The same thing goes when you tend to pull out your dry leaves. Now I'm not saying that if you are going to pull out the dry leaves and if you're going to water the same day, the succulent will rot 100%, but there is a small chance or there is a risk that it can rot, especially if there is a very large cut on the stem. And especially when we tend to pull out the dry leaves, we can't see whether there are any cuts on the stem or not. So to be on the safer side, it's always advisable that once you pull out the dry leaves, wait for at least 2 or 3 days, because within that time frame the cuts will heal, they will callus. Always remember, any open part on the succulent, the water or the moisture shouldn't come in contact with the succulent. So in this video I wanted to share, now please ignore those paint splatter on the succulent. This was done during the painting. A lot of the paint was fallen on the succulent and it's very difficult to get rid of. I can scratch it off, but that will also kind of damage the leaves, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. So please, whenever you are touching your succulent for whatever reason, probably to cut the bloom stalk, to take out the dry leaves, repotting, or probably your succulent has sunk into the pot and you're adding in a little bit more soil, remember, whenever you are touching the succulent physically, please do not water the same day. Wait for 2 to 3 days. Now here, as you can see, you will find wrinkles on the lower leaves, which means that my succulent is slightly dehydrated. Now another important thing, if you are going to take my advice, or if I have to advise, first hydrate the succulent. Wait for some time, let the succulent get hydrated, let all the wrinkles disappear, and then after the soil is dry, when the soil is completely bone dry, then go ahead and pull out the dry leaves. Do not pull out the dry leaves and go ahead and water it, otherwise there is a risk, as I said, it can damage the plant. So first hydrate the plant and then pull out the leaves. Now I am okay with it, I just wanted to show you the video, so I will pull out the dry leaves and I will wait for another 2 to 3 days, and after that I will go ahead and water it, because I am very confident about my succulent, so I do not need to be worried. So as you can see, these are all the dry leaves that I will start to pick. As I said, if the dry leaves are accommodated in a large number, that can very easily invite pests, bugs, anything, mold, fungus, you name it, it will start to grow. So it's always better to do a routine check and clean off all the dry leaves. Now I will try to loosen up the soil a bit. Now you can also see my soil mix is very loose, very porous, it's very sandy. You can see how easily the soil tends to move. I've seen a lot of people, their soil does not even move, so you have to be extremely careful. Try to make a soil mix that can easily move around like this. So that is also going to help your succulent grow healthy. So let me take out few more. So these are all the leaves that I could clear off. I'll have to use the tweezers to clean the remaining portion of the leaves. Here you can see this, there are some leaves that are still stuck, and here I had done a small little cutting long time back. I don't know if it's going to be visible, but I'll try to focus on that. You can see there was a stem cutting that I had done, and there is a small little pup right next to it. It's going to be a little difficult to see. Okay, there you go, you can see. And this as well, this is the new growth. There was another stem cutting that I had done, so it's putting out a lot of new growth. And I will try to clear off these leaves as well. I'll try to clear off these leaves as well, because some of them, they tend to get attached with the soil and they become very difficult to clean, so it's always advisable. And now you can see the stem is kind of visible. So as you can see, now the stem is more visible, and we have cleared off as much dry leaves as possible. This was a bloom stalk cutting that I had done. I will try to take it out if possible. Oh, there you go, you can see this is the bloom stalk that I had cut. It was also dried. You can even take this out, because even at times this also gets affected with mealybugs, so you can take out once it's completely dried. Do not pull out the bloom stalk remaining portion when it is still very fresh. It will be very difficult to take it out, and you might happen to damage the leaves when you're trying to take it out. You can always cut it half, and the rest of it, over the period of time, it will dry out, and it will be very easy to, for it to get detached from the mother plant. So you don't have to be worried. And I think here as well we had a small little a small little bloom that I had cut off. So you can see there's a little bit of debris and dust in between. And here again I had another bloom stalk which I had pulled out. You can see there is so much of bloom stalks present on this, which I had done a cutting long time back. And here again, so as you can see, the fragments of the bloom stalk will come out very easily once it's completely dried. So I will do a check once again if there is anything. And now that we are completely done with the cleaning, we will take a blower and blow off all the excess material that is stuck in between. There could be sand, there could be the debris of the flower stalk, some dirt. We'll clean off everything as much as possible. And now the succulent is going to be kept aside. There is nothing that you have to keep it in indirect bright light. You can continue to keep it in the same position where it was, and let everything dry up. And after 2 to 3 days, we will go ahead and do a complete watering until the water starts passing. But it is going to take 2 to 3 days. So we are going to just leave it as it is, and we will see. Definitely once I do the watering and once the plant starts to revert back, I will make a shorts video, because I do not want you guys to waste a lot of time. I will make a shorts video with the comparison of the dehydrated succulent along with the hydrated one. So as you can see, it is quite dehydrated. A lot of wrinkles on the lower leaves. So this was just an example video. If you're going to take my advice, I would always suggest you first hydrate the succulent, and then once the soil is dry, you can go ahead and pull out the dry leaves. Again, once you have done pulling out the dry leaves, do not water the same day. Wait for at least 2 to 3 days, and that's all about it. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.